Alright, everyone, we're back. Back to Finance Details, back for another video. Yes, I am still wearing the same outfit as the last few videos, trying to record a couple of these because, sadly, I do have a day job and I am kind of busy and things like that. And it's like 11:30 at night. But, regardless of all that, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep building, keep getting better, things like that. But today, I need to talk about something that is just crazy. Like, not many Americans will know this car. I didn't know of it till just a couple days ago. But what is the Nissan Navara? And I'm only guessing that's how it's produced because that's how it's spelled. We'll see. Maybe someone will correct me on that. The Nissan Navara is the U.S.'s version of, or the rest of the world's version of the U.S. Frontier, the Nissan Frontier. A lot of people know that truck. A lot of people know that truck to be kind of shit. It's not great. The Nissan Frontier is never considered in the race of the midsize truck. In the midsize truck race, you have Chevy Colorado, Toyota Tacoma, kind of Ford Ranger nowadays-ish, and then Honda Ridgeline. That one's weird because it's a different truck. It's more tailored to be kind of a party truck. So that one's never really in the race of the top three. And then at the very bottom, you got this weird little old as shit thing called the Nissan Frontier. I don't know what I can say about the Frontier. If you wanted to get a new vehicle, like you needed a truck, you needed a small truck, and you just wanted it to be new, but you didn't want to pay over $20,000, I guess there's the Frontier for you. I've seen a lot of them up close. I've seen new ones. I've seen old ones. I've seen ones from 2006. I've seen ones from 2018. They're some of the cheapest. Just why would you make that kind of truck around? They are very low quality. They don't have really anything going for them. They all have kind of lame 4 cylinders, except there was a supercharged, actually I think supercharged V6, maybe. I think it was a V6. Yeah, it was. That made 210 horsepower back in the early 2000s. That's kind of cool that it was supercharged, but I believe it was a 3.3 liter V6, and that's a really bad number. So the Frontier is not regarded as a very cool truck, especially when Nissan is doing cool things like when they redesigned and have given the new engine stuff to the Nissan Titan. The Titan's not bad. I don't like its headlights. I don't quite like the way those are set up, but the Titan is in the best state it's ever been. Technically, it's a good compare for Tundra and things like that. Comes with a Cummins diesel. Now it's only, I believe, a 5 liter, so it's a little different than the big boys that come in Dodge Rams. But it's trying. They're trying to make that truck cool. The Platinum Editions and things are, or I would want to say it's Platinum Edition, they're very nice and things like that. They are starting to make themselves known a bit more for their trucks. Now, the Nissan Navara was, or maybe I should start off with, okay, no, we'll do this. Nissan Navara was the updated version of the 2013 Nissan Frontier. So, the Navara that's out right now, body style was released in 2014, technically alongside the new Colorado, when they updated that body style to what it is now. The rest of the world got this updated body style of the Navara, or Frontier, while the US was left with the old one. They slowly freshen up and do slightly new things with the one that we have, but they have not done anything for many years. It is still just the same crap, and it is junk. It really is. I don't know much about reliability issues, so that's not bad. It doesn't cost a lot compared to the others. Colorados and Rangers cost way more. And Tacomas just don't lose value for some reason. But this new Navara actually looks really good. It looks really, for what it is, compared to what we're used to, it looks really cool. And it comes with, or can come with, a 2.3 liter twin turbo diesel. That just sounds cool. Like, what, people would love that in the US. People would eat that up, no problem. I know they would. especially since people have been very happy with the Duramax diesel and the 4-cylinder Duramax in the Colorados and things like that, and the ZR2s and the Bisons and blah 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 blah. 2.3 liter twin turbo diesel. That just sounds cool to say. It sounds pretty good in the engine. It only makes 187 horsepower, but it makes a little over 300 torque. Those are good numbers, especially at a 2.3 liter. That's perfectly respectable. It's not great. It's not the best ever, but it's good enough. Basically the way that I found out about this vehicle is because an Australian dealership was talking about how it wants Nismo versions of its trucks, particularly the Navara. As they say, they believe that they have enough room to fit a few more cylinders or some more power. That would be awesome. Nissan doesn't do a lot of Nismo options. They do one for the Sentra. They do one obviously for the 370Z and the GTR. I am not sure what other what other Nismo models are actually available off the top of my head. I know they do those three for sure. The Sentra gives it like sports seats, a manual transmission, some exterior things like wheels, some red highlights and stuff. Makes it pretty cool for a Sentra. The Nismo gets trackier stuff, and of course the GTR is crazy, making almost 600 horsepower and stuff, and with the crazy carbon wing and blah blah blah. It's cool. Nismo does good stuff. They do. They know what they're doing. They've been building the GTR for many years, giving it the Nismo version, and of course Nismo is they're kind of like Mercedes AMG division. Sorry, I couldn't think of one right there. They are kind of like Shelby for Mustang, how technically Shelby is its own entity, or even SVT, something like that. So they're not the brand. They're technically a part of the brand that makes certain vehicles better. They're the performance division of them. So they take certain vehicles and they give them a much better, cooler option than the boring normal one that there is, like the Sentra, because the normal Sentra is economical, 4-door. That's all that can really be said about it. It's not bad, it's just not great. But the Nismo one at least breathes a little bit of life into it, kind of like the Civic Si, although as far as I know, the Sentra does not get any extra power. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. The last time I looked, it didn't get any extra horsepower from the regular model. But at least they gave something to it. Now, if they wanted to start selling the Frontier, a Nismo Frontier, would be cool. Everyone in the small truck game has a cool option, an off-road option, a more sporty option, except for the Honda Ridgeline. And Ford's a little weird. Technically, Ford has the Ranger Raptor. It's just not available in the US. Which their reasoning makes sense, and it doesn't. Technically, their reasoning is that they don't want a market to have both Raptor models to compete with each other, so they decided to give the US a Raptor model and give the rest of the world a Raptor model. Now, the current Ford Ranger has actually been out in the rest of the world for a little while. They're just finally bringing it back in the US because people like mid-sized trucks right now. So they say that we get the better Raptor model, and technically we do, especially when a Ranger can come in at $40,000, almost F-150 price for a base model. So a Ranger Raptor would probably, it'd have to be in the 50s, 55,000 or something like that, and that's way too much for us. It just doesn't compete well in our market, but in other markets it might be fine. And that also comes with one of those 4-cylinder diesel motors. So there's a Tacoma TRD, but that one doesn't, the TRD Pro, as far as I know, that one doesn't add any extra power, but it does add extra actual off-road utility and things like that, and actually makes it pretty good. The Colorado has the ZR2 and then the ZR2 Bison. The Bison is wicked and awesome. I love that thing. The ZR2 also gives it a lot of exterior cues that are way different with the front skid plates, the cool hood and things like that. I think they did the Colorado and the ZR2 very well, making them definitely making the ZR2 a better option, and showing that it's a little bit better, comes with the factory lift and all that stuff. So Nissan could take the Frontier. The Frontier is kind of marketed as the working man's truck. Sure, they all are kind of, unless you're Ford and your campaign is just slander the other companies. I don't know how they get away with that. I mean, everyone has seen those YouTube videos or YouTube ads where thinking of blank car, try Ford's blank because it's better than every version and Ford's the best brand on the planet. If you haven't realized that's what they're doing, I highly recommend you look at their next videos and see that, because it's pretty funny. But Nissan has just, with the Frontier, really fallen under the radar. Doesn't even come up in the conversation of midsize truck anymore, unless you remember to bring it up. But it's just not. A Nismo one could be something that actually brings it back. Nissan hasn't done any big things to shake up the auto industry in the last little bit. I know in Japan they just released the Nissan Skyline, which is a Q50 with a GTR front, but only available in Japan, so not going to talk about that. But they're not doing anything in America. That's crazy. They still make good vehicles and everything. The Nissan Altima is, to me, actually one of the comfiest vehicles to drive on the planet, to sit in and be comfortable. The Nissan Frontier just doesn't check a single box for a vehicle I would like in the midsize truck realm. But if they were to do a Nismo version, even if they took the gasoline engine and gave it a turbo or did something for it, gave it a cool 6-speed manual with a better manual than they currently have because they're not the best, or they could go, they could do the off-road route that everyone's done, or they could lower it and do the sporty truck route, kind of reminiscent of something like a GMC Cyclone. That would be really cool. They're not gonna, because no one really is doing anything that crazy nowadays, except for maybe the craziest thing that's happened in the last little while will be the C8 Corvette. That should hopefully be pretty cool. And then before that, the biggest news to come out of the automotive industry was the GT500 and the Supra, but none of those were crazy. The last crazy thing I would say was the Dodge Demon. So everyone's trying to, of course, make more money and things like that. And I personally think that a Nissan Frontier Nismo would be a great idea. It would be cool to see what Nismo could do, especially with dealerships in Australia and things trying to push them, saying like, hey, let's take something with this platform and do something better. So those are my thoughts. I've been rambling on for 13 minutes, so we'll cut it here. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything you liked in the video, please let me know. If there's anything you didn't like, that is just as helpful, so I can continue to make this better and things like that. I know this will be very hard. I probably said it 30 times in this video, trying to get rid of ums and stuff like that. We're trying to get better as we go. So that'll do it. I already said all the old YouTuber stuff, so we'll just cut it off here, and we'll see you in the next video.